Hi guys, my name is Lana. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my tiny baby haul. And let's just ignore the fact that I've said that you will not get any hauls from me because obviously I was lying. By the way, this is the first time I'm filming after dark, and since we're transitioning slowly into winter, I'm trying to find a way to film when it's dark in a way that is not too dark for you guys. So let me know if this works out for you. So let's start with the ebooks. First one I want to talk to you about is Sugared Game by my favorite romance writer, K.J. Charles. This is the sequel to Slippery Creatures, which is a male-male historical fiction romance that is set after the First World War. First book talks about Will Darling, who after the war was struggling to find work, to find a place to live, and he inherits the used bookstore that his uncle used to own. He starts running it, then weird people start coming up to him asking for information, and he has no idea what's happening, and he starts getting threatened to give up this information. It becomes apparent that, you know, his uncle did not tell him everything about the way the business is run, and he encounters a man called Kim who is interested to help him resolve this mystery, and maybe Kim is not all that he says he is. It wasn't so much a romance novel as it was a mystery, even thrillery. It has thrillery elements to it, but it's mostly, I'd say, a mystery with a little romance. It's definitely more lusty than romantic, also because these two men don't really know each other in the first one. There's so many things happening, and it's all, you know, everything is questioned in the first one. But I was compelled to pick up the second one, and I'm currently reading it, and I'm enjoying this one a lot. And in this one, whatever foundation they created in the first one is finally slowly and beautifully becoming more of a real romantic connection with feelings. Next up, I picked up The Deep, which is a mystery historical fiction. Some even called it a horror. I was so intrigued by the cover. It looked so beautiful. So the book has a dual timeline, and the first one is on the Titanic, and we follow a woman who is part of the staff there, and she ends up being one of the few people who survive the shipwreck. And then we follow her. The second timeline is, I think, 4 or 5 years later, as she's working on the twin ship of the Titanic, the Britannia, and there she meets a man who was also on the Titanic, and she knew him, and there is no way that he could have survived the Titanic. Apparently, from what I've read, this book has paranormal elements to it. It has ghosts and hauntings, and they become a part of the initial story of the Titanic. And I just found the premise to be very compelling. The last ebook that I picked up is I Will Judge You by Your Bookshelf. And this is a collection of 1-page and 2-page comics by the New York Times illustrator Grant Snyder, and they're all about reading and the love of reading. It's just a nod to book lovers, and I already started reading it a little bit, and it's so cute. It's literally just a collection of, as I said, 1-page, 2-page tiny comics, and it's very cute. So now moving on to physical books, I finally found a copy of Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker. I read this book in July, and I absolutely adored it. I gave it 5 stars. I listened to it on audiobook, and it was so incredible. And I think I mentioned before that this is the kind of book that I want to go back after listening to it and actually, you know, go through the text and underline stuff and sort of revive all the information that I might have lost in the months since I listened to it. And I found it secondhand. Someone was selling their copy and it was a great deal, and I'm so happy to finally own it. Next up, I picked up Albert Camus. This is a book that I bought for the readathon that I'm doing with Amrita by the Book. We're reading The Stranger by Camus, and I couldn't find a book that would only have The Stranger, so I bought a copy that has several of his work in it. This is in Russian. This one has The Stranger, it has the play Caligula, it has the myth of Sisyphus, which is a philosophical essay, and a philosophical novel, The Fall. Unfortunately, it doesn't have The Plague, which is the other novel that I want to read by Camus, but I am almost done, as you can see, with The Stranger. I have a lot of thoughts and I can't wait to discuss this one with Amrita. Then I picked up two books that I cannot believe I have not read yet. First one is Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. It's one of those books that, like, everyone knows the story of Frankenstein. Everyone knows what this book is about, right? Because there's so many references to it in pop culture in everywhere we go. And so I kind of felt like I read it, but then I realized I actually never read it and I have no idea what actually happens apart from the fact that a man constructs a monster out of body parts. Like, this is the only thing I know. So I'm actually very excited to get to this book. The other one is Oscar Wilde's The Picture of Dorian Gray, another book that I was surprised to realize that actually I've never read, because again, this is a story that I feel like everyone knows. There have been movies and there are so many references to it that I feel like I know what this is, but I've never actually read it. So I'm also excited to get to this one. It also has 3 stories: The Happy Prince, The Birthday of the Infanta, and Lord Arthur Saville's Crime. If you are familiar with any of these 3 stories that I just mentioned, let me know which one I should read after I read The Picture of Dorian Gray. The last book I picked up, I actually got from a local bookstore that has been struggling through the pandemic and is about to declare bankruptcy, which is really sad. I was passing by and I saw they had a lot of discounts, and I picked up The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins. And this one I actually did not know a lot about, but it's always been on my radar because I was always intrigued by the title. The Moonstone sounds wonderful. I feel like that this is a classic that not a lot of people talk about, and as I said, I'm intrigued to find out more about this one. And in the back it says, "The Moonstone, a priceless Indian diamond which has been brought to England at spoils of war, is given to Rachel Verinder on her 18th birthday. That very night, the stone is stolen. Suspicion then falls on a hunchbacked housemaid, on Rachel's cousin Franklin Blake, on a troupe of mysterious Indian jugglers, and on Rachel herself. And there's a Sergeant Cuff who is called in, and he has to solve this missing stone mystery." So I was very surprised to find out that this is a mystery novel, and it sounds wonderful, and I can't wait to get to it. These are all the new books that I acquired recently. Hope you enjoy this video. Let me know if you read any of them, or if you are especially excited to see me read any of these, and I might do a vlog. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.